Thanksgiving, because we're learning that it will cost more to get a turkey this year, and it's not because of inflation. Fox 13's Hannah Kim spoke to a Washington Post food reporter last hour. Here's what she said.
Yeah, so we want to get right to it. It's avian flu that you're talking about. It is really a big crisis across the country. How many turkeys have that affected so far?
Well, so this is actually what looks like the worst outbreak of avian flu the U.S. has ever seen. So we had one in 2015 that was 50 million birds dead, and we're approaching that now. Of that, 6 million are turkeys, and these are obviously large animals, and a lot of them are pasture raised, so they live out of doors, and it's very hard to bring them in, which would get them out of harm's way.
Right. So, Laura, I was reading your article and it said one ranch in California, for example, had 150,000 turkeys killed really quickly from this. And this is a new strain of the avian flu. So tell us about the origins. How did this all come about?
Well, so this is something that we battle every year. It's communicated to domesticated flocks via migratory birds. So migrating birds fly one way in the spring and, north in the spring and south in the fall. We're right in the middle of that migratory pattern right now for a lot of wild birds. And they are the carriers. They can live with this illness and not die from it, but they push their droppings across domesticated, chicken farms and turkey farms, and those animals become infected with the virus, and it's nearly 100% fatal within 48 hours.
Wow.
And so we're really seeing just decimated flocks across broilers, laying hens, and turkeys.
So what can we do to prevent it? Is there anything out there that the government or these farmers can do?
Well, there are vaccines that are being experimented with, but this is really a case where you've got to just duck and cover until those migratory birds are where they are aiming to go. But I think from a consumer perspective, the USDA is saying turkey could be 28% more expensive than a year ago. And as we all know, it was already pretty expensive a year ago. So this is going to be significantly more to get that turkey on the Thanksgiving table.
And you're also talking about Washingtonians. This is going to impact people here in our state, not just in California or other places.
Absolutely. So Washington State is not a huge turkey raising state. So a lot of your birds are going to come from Minnesota. That's one of the big ones. And they have lost a huge, actually California also, you get a lot of birds from there. And they have had a terrible September and October in terms of flock death. I mean, often people have to euthanize their flocks once they have an infection. So my advice is to buy your turkey early. If you were aiming at a fresh turkey, be a little bit flexible and perhaps go for that frozen turkey just to get one in the house and have it squared away.
All right. Good heads up for us, Laura Reiley. Thank you so much for joining us today.